welcome to this final episode of Mondaiji, episode 10. I know it kind of sucks, episode 10. Like, damn it, why is it here so early? But let's just get into the episode. It was interesting. So for a quick summary, it's basically our No Names team versus the Pied Piper team, and the results of after the fight. You know, what happens at the end, all the things, and possible hints towards the season 2. So to begin, we have Izayo kind of fighting Waver guy, and he's during the fight, you know, they're kind of beating the crap out of each other, and he basically figures out the whole legend. He basically tells Waver dude that I know the other two, the Rattan and the Plague Lolly, are actually fake. He's like, they're not really, you know, who they say they are. And in fact, you are the main Pied Piper. And he kind of bows to. He's like, yeah, you are correct. You win, basically. You figured out the mystery. But to that, it's like, good job. But he's like, I'm still gonna beat your ass. That's what he does. You know, the two of them fight. It was pretty cool watching that. And to go back to the story about the two fake, it's like the Plague Lollies just parts of the legend they kind of expanded on. So they took the plague and made it a real person. They took the jester or joker who lures the kids as Rattan. So and that's where you get those two characters from. So and for more fights, we had Rattan versus ASUKA and her giant robot / golem named Dean, which I completely forgot they had a name for it last time. So he does his little Dean scream, and he does whatever ASUKA says. So he had the big red robot versus these white wind-looking creature golem robot. I don't know what they are. They're just these weird monster things. And that scene was really cool. Just watching that giant red robot just destroy the other things was pretty cool. Actually, I would consider mech in this series. So this almost has everything, but I'll get into that later. And we cut to Kurousagi, Sandra versus the plague girl. She had a name, but it keeps escaping me. I honestly didn't remember her name. But anyway, they reveal that the plague girl is actually a deity of, how she words it as, she represents 80 million people that suffered from the plague. Or I guess represents malice and resentment in the 80 people that died. So the plague, I guess, right, gets manifest and turns into this little girl that's, I guess you would consider her a demon. I consider her a demon. She had horns and everything, so. And they reveal her weakness. Her master plan is to kind of like destroy the sun. I guess in the legend, the sun wasn't around much during the plague, so that's why the plague spread. So I guess it's kind of science. If the sun was out, the heat, everything would kill the virus, the plague, whatever. So her main goal is to knock out Shiroyasha and take her place. So it's kind of neat. So we had the sun as part of the story with her. Yeah, so yeah, that's right. She wants to destroy the sun. So that's her main wish, main goal. And they cut back to Izayo. He wins his fight, and ASUKA wins her fight in a matter of minutes, which is pretty cool. I like watching that between them. Kind of cool. And they beat him really fast. And the funny thing was, the bad guys they fought, you know, they're really not technically evil. In fact, they're happy they fought these people. They're like Weaver was happy he fought Izayo because it was a nice fight for him anyway, a challenge. So he gets to kind of fade away and turn to dust. Almost felt like Fate Zero to me with Lancer. You know, all that stuff like that. So. And let's see what else. And after ASUKA beats Rattan, it's kind of like she gets to hear one last song by her flute, and she's like, it's a nice song, and she kind of vanishes, but the same thing, she's kind of happy she had a interesting fight against ASUKA, leaving back her flute, which I think they're hinting towards ASUKA using that to boost her power. Maybe, but they did reveal that Waver was technically the leader, so he was the one in control of the flute. So, but who knows, maybe they can use that. So yeah, with those two defeated, Izayo and ASUKA kind of join Kurousagi and Sandra, and they fight the Plague Lolly for a bit. But it's mostly Izayo kind of like fighting her to keep her distracted while Kurousagi sets up this massive trap. It's kind of cool I did that. And they reveal that Kurousagi kind of makes the comment that she's gonna send the plague girl to the moon. Like, I'm sending you to the moon. Like, don't judge the rabbit because, you know, just because we're not the sun or whatever. So they actually teleport to the moon, which is kind of weird, kind of random. But during that, they figured out, well, if we teleport somewhere far, she can't use the city that gives her a boost in power, like a buff. So basically, they take away her buffs, and they kind of own her face with ASUKA, plus her robot Dean, plus the big lance we saw earlier in the series with Kurousagi, which that's what they use. They use this giant lance, and Kurousagi, or not Kurousagi, the plague wall is like, you expect me not to get hit by that? I can dodge it easily. And before she gets ready to move, Sandra does like this like lock target thing. She locks her down with these fire rings, and she can't move. So the big lance goes through, the plague girl defeats her in one shot, and all is saved. The plague goes away, the city returns to normal, and all that stuff like that. Which is kind of cool, I like that. But near the end, after the fight, Izayo kind of pops up in Sandra's brother's room and finds out he was kind of in on the whole Pied Piper thing. So he's kind of like, I won't tell anyone. I'm not gonna tell your sister because she'll probably get mad at you. In return, that when we need your help, you come, no questions asked, and help us. If in a later fight. So I guess it's hinting towards, hey, better be back. And with that, we have a little bit like they're trying to restore the community still, the no names. They're doing a bit of farming, cleaning up, whatever you want to call it. And while they're doing that, everybody's kind of happy, having a good time. Kurousagi says something to Izayo like, come help, we need your help over here. And he's kind of like, oh, okay, fine, I'll help. But before they do that, he looks to the sky and sees this envelope fall from the sky. So I'm wondering if it's hinting towards, obviously, it has to be another season. I mean, they ended it kind of like, oh, another community might be challenging you. Or more people are coming to them, or who knows, maybe it's a message from his world, for all we know. It'd be kind of funny if it was. And the only question I have to ask that, when's season 2, you know, when? When are we gonna see these characters return? And since this is a final episode, I will do a mini short rundown of stuff I like from this series. You know, I don't usually give a letter score, but I'll give a score at the final end, like a Mal score. So I'm gonna break it down to like characters, my favorite characters. I have a list of like 5 that I really enjoyed. For me, it would be number 1 is Shiroyasha. Even though I know she didn't do a whole lot in the series, I think watching her interact with Izayo and Kurousagi every week was just easily the highlight. I mean, when they introduced her in episode, I think 2 or 3, I was just like, oh, that's my favorite character. Not because of, you know, she's a little kid. I mean, it's mostly because of her voice actor. For me, it's I'm a big Railgun fan, so hearing Kuro again in this, you know, was pretty cool. So she'd be my number 1 because she was crazy and always perverted. So even when there are serious times, she would sneak in a little side joke here and there. For number 2 would be Kurousagi. You know, every week when I first saw her, heard her talk, I was drawn in because it was just coming fresh off of Core Zombie Season 2. She was the little, you know, magical girl in that series. So, you know, that kept me coming back, and her voice again. For me, the biggest draw for most animes, their voice actors. If you have certain characters that they're known for certain roles, or certain people known for certain roles, they just stick out. You know, they kind of make every episode fun just to hear how they do different things. And coming in third would be Yu, or Kasuke, the animal girl. You know, for me, I think she did most of the fighting in the series. You know, every other fight she got hurt, so I think she took the most damage, or was it the most injured, I would say. Her power is cool, yeah, and I mean, I'm just seeing how when they expand on that power. What other animals she have that she hasn't really got shown off, things like that. And number 4 will be Izayo. Yes, he is still overpowered. I can still say that right now. But what surprised me with his character is he's just smart. He knows his stuff. Even though it's like legends and fables and stuff like that, that really, if you think about it, it's not that important. But I guess in the Mondaiji universe, I guess it comes in handy. And the other thing, side note, mentioned, he didn't steal the spotlight. That's what I like about this character. He did not, you know, push COSPLAYER or ASUKA to the side and go, you know, I'll handle this type of, you know, shonen character we're used to in so many other shows. And, you know, so I won't mention any names on that one. But and coming in 5, ASUKA, sadly, she was cool in some moments. I mean, the last 2 episodes, she was really cool because she got the giant robot, and that's obviously something I like. But I think she just had some kind of boring fights compared to someone like Isekai or COSPLAYER or even Kurousagi at the end, who didn't do much as well. But you know, she was entertaining to watch. So, and the last note about the characters, all the side characters are really fun. You had the Fire Dragon Girl, she was really cool. You had the villains at the end, they were really cool. You know, you had a lot of different things, even like, you know, the little fox girl, which is Akarin from Yuri for voice actor. That was a highlight for me, have hear her again. But, yeah. And for the story, you know, it's not a complex story. It's 10 episodes. I think you can probably finish this in maybe 1, maybe 2 sittings easily. And if you watch the first 5 episodes, you probably won't watch the last 5 episodes. It's again like kind of addicting at most times. And I loved how they took fables and myths and blended them into the story. You know, episode 9 or 8, they mentioned Cinderella and Snow White, so it makes you wonder, what else could they use as a fable or a story? And I would ask, what would you want to see as a fable or story? Is there a fable that you like that would be really cool in this universe? I don't know. And I'm very surprised it didn't hype up the fact maybe that ASUKA was the Red Riding Hood. That'd be pretty cool, but they didn't, so. Yeah, so, and for weird one, art, for me, I like to draw. I'm a big artist. Not known artist, but I'm getting there. But anyway, the art was pretty cool. I noticed in the last 2 episodes, the character features, like the facial stuff, got really high detailed. You had like the Plague Lolly, where her face would go kind of yandery, not full yandery, but almost there. So you had the reactions, I guess, were pretty good. And some of the characters were okay. I mean, didn't really get to use much of them for like design-wise. So. And the art, like I think it's very colorful. If you're wanting something to watch, maybe with younger viewers, maybe like if you have kids, this would be a good show. It's not too perverted, but there are some fan service moments, but they don't really show much. So I don't know. I think it's a good series for art anyway. So, and the last thing I was gonna say is, what are your season 2 predictions for Mondaiji? You know, what other characters are you gonna see from the myths and the stories and things like that? You know, they could do. I can imagine a whole arc based on, you know, Pinocchio or the 7 dwarves. You can have like 7 badass dwarves that suddenly appear. Whatever, any kind of story, fable, myth. You can have Zeus, Hercules, things like that. So they did hint towards Greek mythology and things like that in this series, so you could do that. It'd be kind of cool. Also, will the No Names gain new members? You know, will Sandra join as an official member, or she's stay at Floor Master? So it's possible they could bring in a bunch of new human characters, but who knows? Because the letter at the end kind of tells me it's either A, a challenge, B, new characters, or C, someone from their world sending a message to them. You know, it could be exile, your world's being attacked, we need your help. Something cheesy like that sends him back. Also, more episodes. Maybe season 2 will have 12 episodes, or who knows, maybe 24 if we're lucky. But we'll see. I don't know much about the light novel or how much the content is for that. And, you know, Kurousagi mentioned other rabbits. Will we see them in season 2? You know, I could imagine seeing like the other ones, maybe they have other personalities. I could imagine like a tsundere rabbit. And the other thing I would like to see, maybe Shiroyasha fight next time. She didn't need to fight this time, which I want to see how powerful she really is. maybe a transformation would be pretty cool, but who knows. I have a feeling she may be like Letitia, a vampire or Loli that can transform when she needs to. And the final note for what I want season 2, more story on Izayo. What is he? What is his power? That kind of thing. Is he a god? Is he a demon? Who knows? Maybe he's just a superhuman. For all we know. And I would also mention the opening and ending. They are my favorite this season. Especially the ending when they finally revealed it was just like, oh my god, this ending. It's fun to watch the little chibi forms dance and everything. And the opening, it reminds me a little bit of a mixture of like Kurousagi, both those seasons, and maybe something like Yumika and Mary, which had like a rock type opening, like a rock rift and everything in there. It's kind of cool. So my final score of a mouse score, which is out of 10, I'll probably give the series an 8. So maybe I would get a 9 if maybe they revealed Izayo's power or had more episodes to work with. So yeah, definitely gets an 8 out of 10 for me. And overall, I had a very good time with this series. It's a good experiment to run these little video reviews on, and I'm glad people stuck with me on these. It's a new format. Most people probably didn't want this, but yeah, I wanted to try something new. And with something like Mondaiji, who only has 10 episodes, is probably the best series to experiment with. So, anyway, see you next time. Maybe season 2 if we get another one. Until then, peace out.